Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of VFX and Chill. I'm Seth Worley, and with me, as always, is my buddy Daniel Hashimoto, who might be frozen. Hashi, you there, bud? Yes, I am, Seth. I'm very happy to be here. And Michael, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, and I'm not frozen.
I'm so glad. Well, while we wait the poor guy, it's just like, what could have crashed his computer?
Player Hashi has been eliminated.
Oh no, he's back. Come back,
Just
Hash.
the voice, though. Player Hashi's been eliminated. It's excellent.
That is excellent. How did this happen?
I was attempting something robust on the computer right as the show started.
Do you need to restart?
No, I think I'm good now, but
not visually.
I think that I'm probably video source 2.
I'm looking at. Oh, there you are. There you are now. We did it.
We did it, everyone.
Well, thank you for tuning in. This was our show.
Very on theme.
This week we are talking about a little show called Squid Game. And we are excited to be talking about the show. I know that season 2 has been out for a little while now. Season 1's been out for even longer. But someone here.
Yeah, we'll attempt. I'm sure that some of the clips we have will have maybe spoilery stuff.
Maybe some spoilers. But we should also set up. Yeah, a couple things. One, there will be probably some spoilers. 2, there's a chance there might be some slightly more violent material than you're used to, so we'll go ahead and give you this disclaimer.
B for violence.
So if you are, sensitive to that stuff, or you're underage, get out of here, or stick around.
Absolutely. If you're watching on one of the channels like Action Movie Kids and from a younger audience, definitely heed this warning. And also, we actually have an official channel where there's a bigger group chat and everything like that. And it would be lovely if y'all would come over here. It's right there on your screen.
If you were seeing some of these
VFX and Chill channel.
If you're seeing some of those chat comments popping up and you're like, I don't see that in my chat, that's why. We're pulling chats from various channels, like this one here from Sarah Martinez. Hello, Sarah.
Don't wave, Hashi. You'll freeze again. But hi, Sarah.
Hi.
And we've got Diego watching from Brazil.
Brazil.
Excellent.
Of course, folks in California who are glad the fires are mostly contained.
Yes, we hope everyone is safe. That's it. We hope everyone's safe. That's it. Speaking of safe,
unlike the contestants in Squid Games,
nailed it. See, that was better. That was better than what I just did. I like that you did it. We've got some behind the scenes stuff. We've got some behind the scenes stuff to look through from the show. You want to just dive right into it, guys?
I think that we should. Let's dive headfirst into the Squid Game.
Into Squid Game. So first off, nothing was real. No, a lot was real. So this is by the way, this is a VFX reel from season 1 from the VFX house Gulliver, and it's on YouTube. It's where we stole it from. First off,
it's stunning work. I did not have a clue that wall was fake when I watched the show.
Look at that.
I thought, they had someone painted the wall. No, they didn't. It was freaking blue screen the whole time.
Yeah. It's great.
Amazing.
And then,
not a clue.
And then that's something we could do on the show today. Like, we really could just try and find a plate, like a city street. It may not be blue screen, but we could find a city street and roto what we want to keep, and then take another stock photo of some other scenery and paint that to a wall. That's one thing we can do.
It's one thing.
We could even take a still of a frame from a moving camera, but you project it as if it were the wall.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a backdrop. And look at that.
This is such an effect we can do on the show. Like, we just find ourselves a drone shot,
great.
And recreate that stuff.
It's just some classic 2D compositing, slight 3D compositing.
We could do that in After Effects.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Birds for scale.
Birds for scale. Birds for
And
scale.
that's why, yeah.
We could also, add clouds and island stuff. This was interesting. I had a feeling this might be 3D, but it's fun to see it confirmed.
I was thinking that specifically. I was rewatching a couple of bits of season 1 earlier, and I was like, I think that's simulated. But look at that.
I just think you save so much time on the day by not having to refill and empty this giant piggy bank on the ceiling.
It's a really good point.
Yes. And you can, and when you're going back for reshoots, you don't have to worry about how much money is supposed to be in there for this scene or anything like that. You can just have it correct.
You just have it. Obviously, a lot of set extension stuff. This is fun. That's all 3D.
Look, it's all 3D.
I mean,
and look at the efficient
the geometry
UV on this. That's really cool. I mean, I know that it's very, simplistic, like the result, very Monument Valley Escher-esque.
Yeah.
But like the materials are doing a lot of the work there, if that's really the bones of it.
There's some violins.
Look at those guys just
hanging
on.
Just hanging around.
Hanging on to stuff.
We're so funny.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So wait, what's the base
so they gave him
plate?
a little bit of source light at the feet.
Yeah, like that. So that's the base plate.
Which is kind to the Roto artists. I'm sure you could see more in RAW, but it's a dark shot. It's a dark series.
Whoa.
That I have a feeling is I doubt those are 3D. I think that's just
this looks like a sectional, like a classic
shoot crowds in sections.
Everyone move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic Forrest Gump reflection pool situation.
It's such a good way to make a crowd where you don't have enough people to make a crowd.
Interesting. They replaced the grate. Oh, I know why. They replaced the grate because the rat has to fall on it.
You say that every Sunday.
I say that every Sunday.
I meant Friday, but Sunday works too.
I didn't know if that was like it's a church going phrase for some reason.
It is now.
Big set extensions here, obviously. Lots of fun set extensions of them walking across these large bridges that are supposed to be suspended or up in the air. Helicopters.
Like pretty much every helicopter in every
those guys'
show.
Antlers not there and then there, or can I just not see them at first?
No, they're there. They're there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's some.
It looked like they appeared with one of the swipes right there.
Oh yeah,
it's just the flare behind.
Give the man some antlers.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, this has one of my favorite. And I have a little bit of a rant about this, but it's a good rant, whatever that would be. But I love the slow-mo. Yes, this glass exploding stuff. And the slow motion shot here that this is shot as a part of. Yes. Okay, it's cut off here, but I have it here. I love this shot because it is. We were talking about this before, Hashi. What was the word you used?
I don't remember. It's very
not excessive,
indulgent.
But indulgent. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
There are some shows and movies that like every shot is this cool and this over the top and this stylized, and you kind of get numb to it. I love the Spielberg way of shooting a movie, which is like you have a full deck of cards, right? So you've got all your your twos through your nines, then you've got your tens and your jacks and your queens, and then some kings and aces in there, right? And you got the full deck so you can really appreciate these like big, indulgent, cool shots when they come along. And this one just kind of floored me. I loved that they were like, you know what? We're just going to do something friggin' awesome here at the end of this episode.
Yeah, it was so good.
And what's kind of wild about the way that they're selective about that is they'll often show the first one in real time, and you don't. The premise of the show is obviously that these Squid Games are dangerous, and the first time you see the consequence of them, they are always kind of in real time and shocking.
Yeah. Because
you're experiencing them along with them, and then you kind of think, "Oh man, that would be a crazy way to go." And then a few, after the tension has been ramped up and everything like that, is when you get a shot like this.
You really say,
where you're like,
yeah.
"Oh, what would it look like if you were?" And then they give it to you.
And so little details that I loved is that you get these individual cuts. Like you get to see, like each person gets one cut to the face. And I was curious if they're adding like if the scar is if they already have the wound, makeup on them. I would imagine they would shoot. My assumption was that the makeup would be on their skin when they shot it, and then just paint it out at the beginning of the shot, and then have it reveal as the glass comes.
It's a very good way to do wounds in general. Is painting them out.
Well,
on
and guess
appearance
what?
Instead of painting them in.
We've got our answer.
What? Look at that.
So I've got this footage here that shows they've got their scars on them already in the makeup here. And so
look at that.
Hitting them with rubber glass.
Let me see how close that camera.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dangerous, but just by itself.
Oh, look at that.
Having to move because that's a robot.
And
That's
look at all
not
that
stopping
debris.
for you.
They're really I think that the live action debris really helps how much you'd be squinting and just reacting to how horrible that would be.
And now that's probably, I mean, I can't imagine this not being rubber glass, but if you've ever worked with like rubber glass like this, it's really fun and surprising how it's like, it looks like shards of glass, and then it turns out it's this little like gelatin like bits. But even then, you still don't want it in your eye.
I love the extra like second of hold that they do.
Yeah.
Like where you would that you would do after getting hit by debris, where you kind of keep your eyes closed and you're just waiting for a second for the
is it over
moisture
please?
To return to them.
Yeah, 100%.
Michael Halleck says this should be called Squint Game, as they're squinting from all the
Squid Game? Oh man, I'll allow it.
I'd
so
be
here's
careful.
what's interesting. We've got practical glass explosions here, but if I remember correctly from this behind the scenes bit, there's a little quote that I love.
Oh, this
that
is
comes
great.
on screen. A lot of people thought that CG can never be better than the real shot, but actually for this sequence, CG turned out to be even better than the real shot.
Sometimes CGI
what a
is useful for telling your story.
A great point.
That's why we love CGI.
CG의 컴퓨터 그래픽 애니메이션.
Thanks, guys. So, this shot also, by the way, I really think we could pull off or try to pull. Now, I'm not saying we can pull off something of this quality, but we can try to, mimic this shot with either with stock footage or an iPhone or something. And then there's a version where we can do it in After Effects, and there's a version where we can do it using Cinema.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to do all this stuff. I'm saying this is some of the stuff we could do today.
No, I love it. And yeah, and people in the comments, the fun of the live show is if you see something that is especially cool that you're curious how to do, feel free to put it in as a suggestion. It could change the whole course of the show.
Please
Nicola is asking, is this all Cinema 4D and After Effects, or there's Nuke and other sim software involved? We today are going to use all Cinema 4D and After Effects. For this show, I'm sure they used all the things for the actual movie.
We don't have confirmation what they actually used on the show.
Probably lots of things.
The only thing we have confirmation that they used, that I have confirmation, is the actor Lee Jung-jae, which, just to brag a little bit, I just shot something with in South Korea last week. That's why I was not on the show. I was with my friend Adam Lissagor, Sandwich Video. We were shooting a very fun thing with JJ Lee, who was absolutely wonderful to work with and just as funny and kind and cool as you would expect him to be watching the show. Anyway, now that I'm done name dropping.
Amazing.
Watch your feet. Names are dropping. What are we going to do? Hashi, you have a very cool thing that you were playing with. Do you want to show that to us now, or do you want to save that?
Let me wait on it for just a second. I think that we should start with something else and then work our way up to it. But I'll share my screen again, which might go to the wrong feed. I don't remember. Let's see. You don't need to cut to it. I just want to make sure that it's reconnected to the thing after my
I see it
crashing out. Yay!
I saw it. All right, great.
Excellent.
So, I have not downloaded anything to work with yet, and because I have no idea what I want to do on the show.
Nice. Nick Smith is asking,
What's
if it's like the Korean version of Severance, I would say no. It is more like it's darker than Severance and more graphic.
About Seth's thing.
Like by the way,
my commercial.
Seth's thing. Yeah.
Oh, your commercial, yes.
I can't say anything about it. I'm sorry, I can't talk about it. But I can say I worked with Lee Jung Jae. That's all I can say. Let's see what I'm trying to decide if I want to do that the drone shot with the trap doors opening, or if I want to do like a wall shot, like a. What do you want to do, Hash? I'll take what you don't want to do.
Oh man, well, I'm kind of curious to do that glass shot, and the dumb thing about it is I saw it and was like, could you do this in just After Effects? Because we've played a little bit with.
You 100% could, because we've got stock footage and particular and shatter, and the trick is finding the right plate for it, right?
That's right. Let's see. Now, did you have it isolated, or you just happened upon it when you were
which the
moving around in there?
The happen upon what?
The glass that bridge shot. I don't know if we have it isolated to be able to take a look at it.
Oh, interesting. I've got. Let me see. Oh, you just want the actual final shot?
Just to watch it one more time to remind myself what it looked like.
So it looked a little something like this. In fact, let me turn up the exposure a bit, because this is like a darker.
Wow. Do we have the bridge exploding bit? That's actually more what I was thinking of than the close-up parts.
We do. I've got.
Sorry, no, that was right at like the end of.
So I've got that version.
Okay, so there's the plate, and
then
what
this.
does it look like?
That's filming of a monitor, like that shot is.
Yeah.
But for reference, that's what it looks like right there.
Okay,
you could
like
do this with dirt blasts, honestly, and then like.
I feel like you could with literally the plug-in shatter and some bokeh that we talked about the other week. You could do a really convincing version of that.
And I would say even honestly, just add some dust or dirt hits in the background, glass in the background as well, just to give a little bit of organic matter and do some of the motion work for you.
Absolutely.
But we're both on art list right now, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I represent athletes. These are my stories.
And
that's a joke that everyone will get.
Everyone loves loves HBO's Arliss. Let's see.
Now I'm using the website, but
I am too. I don't have the extension. Well, I have the extension installed in Premiere, but not in After Effects. Is it for
clever.
After Effects? I don't think it is. But there's a very cool extension from Artlist now that lets you search through. I know music and sound effects, maybe even stock footage in Premiere, and just drag it to your project. It's very cool.
Great idea.
So what am I even looking for? Just like slow motion people?
Kinda. I was looking for.
What's really great is
this is almost helpful.
There's that little people drop down right up there, and you can specify the number. You can say the number of people you want, the genders, the races, all that kind of stuff.
No whites. No, I'm just kidding.
Tried downloading. Found like an arena spotlights kind of image or piece of footage. It looks a little bit like it could work for this. I might need to do some more set extension to get the downward angle though. And I'll save this into
I mean, looking at this shot,
folder.
Hashi, you could do this part that you've got there with Lux.
That's a good point.
Some of the stuff I'm just like, what? How does this?
and-
What even is this?
I love the
Art.
people who got fancy on our list, you know?
Oh, there's a fun one of a horse just with no saddle or anything, just charge you down a European city street that I used for a Tip Tuesday one once. I made rainbow sparkles coming off of the back of this white horse as it charged down a street. It's quite fun. But again, I don't know why someone would want that for stock footage.
Yeah.
There's like like a person sitting in the middle of the street with like neon lights everywhere. And they're on a laptop. Like, who decided that was a useful stock shot?
Yeah, the whole point of stock is, I thought, that it would be
widely usable.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do
like these shots all look very usable.
Yeah, I'm gonna try the trapdoor thing.
Excellent. Bottom left, that soccer stadium, whatever that is.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. All place
that.
for there to be an opening.
Let's do HD. This is just a live stream after all.
Sure is. All right.
What I like to do is download way too many options and.
My favorite thing. I mean, I know this show's not sponsored by Artlist, but what I love about, unlike most other stock sites, you can get the log version of footage on here.
Yeah.
So I'm able to show off features in Colorista and Magic Bullet Looks on proper log footage, and like of different kinds of cameras. So I've from Sony's and Reds and all these other Canons.
You mean like footage like this, or like of this? Like this is classic log footage.
No one else has footage of logs like Artlist.
Incredible. I love Artlist resources. Hashi, how you doing over there?
Doing all right. Okay, check this out. I think there was so it requires some paint out, but
oh, you could make that all okay. Yep.
That reminds me
you can make that all glass. Setting. Yeah.
So I'm going to try that. All right. Well, I'm going to close down Artlist for a moment and then pop open the old After Effects. Part of me thinks that you could do the entire thing in After Effects, but that might be ridiculous. Like no imagery, just all fractal noise, planes, and lux, and a bunch of other junk. But I think that I'll get... it'll be too wild. All right, let's start a new project. I'm going to save this one as... save as... in my own little folder, show... _ Oral1. Okay.
Is Motion Array the same company as Artlist?
Can't be.
Someone in the chat thinks they are. I thought they were competing.
Can't be. It couldn't be.
No, because with Motion Array, you can make your footage do that and that and that. That's I think of that ad every time.
All right. So,
which, by the way,
thing that I was
is a killer ad.
About
like very, very cool ad, by the way.
Oh, it's such a good ad.
Yeah.
It's just that we've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Whoops. It's like that. It's like that Emmanuel Colombo piece with the swimming guy. Like, it's a good piece, but we saw it so much on YouTube back in the day.
Or it's also like Muzzy, the remarkable new video language program for children by the British Broadcasting Corporation. With this unique video series, children learn a second language with incredible ease. 4 delightful videos quickly become their favorite TV shows. Teaching children... I lost that part. This me bagage to me. This me la vie. Sorry. I had to do it all.
I have never seen that one.
You've never seen Muzzy? All right.
Nope.
Well, get ready to Muzzy and chill.
No, focus.
I don't know what's happening here.
Focus.
I will not focus.
Just one little experiment, which was I wanted to see if I created a solid and a camera and then added the shatter effect. It's the built-in After Effects one. We're going to go up to shape and select.
We can't see your screen yet, Hashi. Hang on.
No, we can't. Hashi, we can't hear you. But yes, that is French. Those children are speaking. I know those children aren't French.
Children aren't French. They're American, and they've acquired their amazing new language skills
from Muzzy, the remarkable new video language program for children that teaches children a second.
Broadcasting Corporation. With this unique BBC language course, children learn a second language with incredible ease. 4 delightful videos quickly.
Come on, if you don't know this, you didn't have a television growing up.
I did not.
My goodness.
Haha, I did.
Accurate.
All right, Hashi. Sorry.
All right. So all I've done is I've applied the shatter effect to this white solid. I changed the pattern to glass, and right now it's in the wireframes and forces preview, but I'm going to switch it over to rendered. And then you have control over these things called forces that have a radius on them. So I've adjusted the radius to be a little bit smaller. So if, for example, I press play, boom, busts out that little piece. Now, what I'm realizing, and this is one of the things I wanted to test actually, was shatter is rendering, but only within its own solid. But if I move my 3D camera and tell the plugin to use the comp camera, it actually, look at that. It actually is reacting to the camera, which is ridiculous. Yeah. The only thing I'm unsure about is I don't know if you can rotate the initial plane. Like you don't really, I mean, this is a very, like, you know, mathematically written program. So I'm going to, actually, I'll leave shatter there, but I'm going to change the comp dimensions to match, whoops, my comp size, and then say OK. So now I still have a camera control that does this. And it feels...
Now, if you wanted to make shatter be that same shape, you would probably need to use a custom shatter map that has the glass shard pieces that you need and has a section marked do not shatter, which has, I think, I can't remember what color that is. Is that black on the shatter map? Is not shattered?
I don't quite remember. I don't like using custom shatter maps for how much they slow down everything. So I'm going to just use the standard glass that came with it. I'm going to go to shape, extrusion depth, and change that to like 0.05, maybe even less, 0.03. There we go. Now we're getting some kind of like little pieces like that. Right now the gravity's inclination is down, but I've rotated my camera at 90 degrees in case you didn't see me do that. So look, it's falling off to the side there. So what I can do is if I say maybe positive 90, let's see if positive 90, does that fall? Nope, that's falling that direction. Gravity inclination. This is going to be a little bit confusing to me because the camera is rotated and physics are weird. Okay, so let's try negative 90, and the gravity inclination is, nope, 0. Okay, right now it's coming toward camera. Okay. Why can't I think about this? Negative 90. Okay, so the direction right now, that means up or down, or I mean left or right.
And forward and back, apparently.
And the inclination, if I increase that, okay, so I want it down. No, maybe down. Let's see. June. Yeah, downward. Okay, check that out. So now I can go to force 1, which is a position, and remember that it's rendering in 3D, but it's not an actual 3D layer. So my control point for the shatter force is this little dot right here, I think, or maybe this one. Yeah, this one. So if I move this to the left, I think it'll come toward camera. If I move it toward the right, it'll be away from camera. So I'll start it far away from camera. I'll go to my camera's settings here. I mean, actually, I could just reveal its zoom properties right here and say camera options. Let's make this a little bit more, you know, dramatic focal length here, something like that. And then we'll add a keyframe here to the force's position and have it be far back there. And then over the course of this, I'm going to turn the gravity down to like 1, and then I'm going to have this force move all the way over to here by the end. All right, let's see what that looks like.
I mean,
it's not unlike the shot. Okay, wait. What is happening? It's going too far. Let's see, what if I have it go, is 90 directly away from camera? Inclination is up or toward me. That's weird. 0? Should it be? This is so confusing with a rotated camera. Hey, there we go. Whoops. They're falling away from camera now. They don't want to fall toward me, but this is not bad. And I can increase the radius, so I'm blowing up more of the bridge. Let's try that. Oh, no, that didn't help. One of the things you can do with the your force object is decide how deep it is. Right now it's too close to the surface, so it's spraying everything off to the side, but I'm going to turn the depth up so it's more like in the show where the explosion factor is saying, boom, up from the ground. And one really cool thing about this is Shatter has the option under the render settings right here. You can either render all of this right now, or you can render the layer, which is basically what your layer is, or you can render the pieces only. So if I render the pieces only, and I tell them, let's say on the lighting, we'll have it be a distant source, and on the material, we're going to say there's going to be more specular reflection on it, and turn down the diffuse on it so it's more of a gray color. And then I can move the lighting to, this is really just like super simple lighting setup. There we go. Down to something like this. And now look at that.
That's pretty good.
And then, of course, what I would add on top of this is some optical glow that I would warm up. I feel like it was, isn't it in a goldish looking realm when it happened?
The lighting was kind of warm, yeah.
And you turn up the highlights only, so it's just getting those glints like that. And over here on my repetitions, if I turn up the number of repetitions of the shape, I get smaller glass debris. So here we go. Okay, it's a little much.
The optical glow might be a little strong.
But 3 layers, actually not even 3 layers, 2 layers, a camera and a solid. And thank you. Turn the amount on the optical glow down and the size up. So we're getting more of a, spread out glow, and I'll turn the highlights only down so I'm getting a little bit more glint throughout. There we go. Look at that.
Wow. It's pretty cool.
I think that's pretty decent.
That looks freaking great.
Pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
Meanwhile, real quick, just want to show that I'm basically done. Just have to add a floor underneath.
And some birds for scale.
Oh, birds for scale. I got to get them. You're right. I forgot. Almost forgot.
Birds for scale.
Luckily, we've got birds in both Production Crate and Action VFX to choose from.
At a certain point, I'll walk through how I did this. It's very easy, but back to you.
Let's see, what if I put under the strength option here, math, like a sine equation? I'm just curious. Would that make it so there were, down and then up and then down and then up? I forgot that sine, of course, goes negative. What I'm trying to do is figure out if there's an
easy way to make it just to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
keyframe the strength up and down once, and then loop out, continue.
Yeah,
or loop out, repeat.
Way to do that.
I mean, while you're working on that,
Lisa
Fairy's saying her computer can't handle particles well at After Effects, but does well in Cinema 4D, which is weird. Well, it depends on what you're using for particles in Cinema 4D. The shatter tool is the shatter tool is very, very old. So if you're using this shatter to make your particles, then that's not surprising. It's not written with any sort of modern ideas in mind for how to do it. And if you're using, like, say, Particle Playground in After Effects, that can be pretty slow as well. Now, Trapcode Particular is what I tend to use when I'm doing particle stuff in After Effects. In fact, I've got 2 tutorials I'm working on right now that are using it. And it tends to do a lot better, especially for complex effects. And it's gotten some recent performance improvements, but it's all still CPU bound, where for the most part. Whereas the simulation of particles in Cinema 4D using the new particle systems is simulating entirely on the GPU, which can do certain things ridiculously fast. And they figured out a way to have it do particle math on the GPU instead of just making graphics happen.
Particle math.
So you end up with simulations, like all the cinema simulations, Cinema 4D, the cloth dynamics, the rope dynamics, the rigid body dynamics, the soft body dynamics, all of those things. All of those things are on the GPU now. So those things tend to be a lot faster. Well, the difference between doing this type of particles in Cinema 4D versus After Effects, will one be more preferred than the other? It depends on what you're doing. That goes back to what I said earlier. What software did they use on Squid Games? And the answer is probably all of them. You just use what works for the shot. Like if you're doing what Hashi's doing now, you just need glass pieces shooting up for a shot. Just do it in After Effects. It's way faster. But it's not a full simulation, as Brian's asking in the chat. Could you get this interact with objects in the scene? No. This is not a full simulation. It's just pushing these forces around, just pushing these pieces with forces. It's all determinative, I think is the right term. It's not a full simulation. It's just kind of doing mathy things without interaction. You would want to use Cinema 4D or some other 3D tool if you wanted to have the glass pieces bounce. Now, I will say you could in After Effects use Tropical Particular and make a glass piece spinning and use that to make particles, and that could bounce off of 4 different layers, 3 different bounce layers plus a floor layer in After Effects to have it appear to interact with things. So you could put a bounce layer like where a person is, for example, have a glass pieces bounce off their face, somewhat believably, especially when you add in some motion blur and stuff. You could actually get some believable debris bouncing off someone in After Effects, but you would need to use something like Trap Code Particular.
What's kind of cool about Particular is that if you were to jump into its designer, for example, I'm on a tangent now, but you've got this interactive emitter preview right here, which is kind of nice. Let me close the other stuff I have running in the background. I'll get to it later, but check this out. So primary system can be these particles, but then you can go over to the particle type. And instead of a sphere, I can say, let's use a sprite. Which sprite? I'll click on Choose Sprite, and then I'll just type in the handy-dandy search function, glass, and look, got glass shards. And right here, this is a glass bits thing. These are other glass bits. And here's another, I guess this is a spinning shard. But what's cool about these is depending on what sampling you use, I'm going to grab this one because it looks like it's got a lot of, high energy randomness to it. And look at that. I've got these. If I turn up the size right here, I'll do some random size there. And instead of, see how they're flickering like that? If I go back to the particle type for the time sampling, I'm going to say random still frame. And now I have these kind of glass things going like that. I can go to their rotation and I can say orient a little bit toward the motion and have some random rotation. And your random speed that you're rotating can be something like this. I'm going to maybe choose a different sprite, actually. Choose sprite. Just quickly search again. It's nice that it puts the most recents right there. But got this glass bit sequence right here. I used it a little bit in the, whatchamacallit, Mortal Kombat thing to simulate ice. But yeah, here you go. Look at these. We've got that, and what's crazy about this, and it's a little bit hard to tell for sure, but I can rotate around this. Can people tell I'm rotating? Maybe I'll move in closer to it so you can see. Here we go. I was a little bit closer, and now you can see that I can rotate around this. Or I can even pause somewhere like this. And you sprite, so it'll look great. Plus, you can add some, lighting to them, some depth cues and shadowlets, and some simulations of things like at, or actually maybe in the environment, we could just turn up the gravity. Usually somewhere around 900 pixels per second is sort of for the standard scale of comp gravity speed. Look at that.
So you want them to be having a force up when they first get shot, and the gravity will take over and pull them down. And then you can add a bounce layer in there and all kinds of stuff.
Exactly. Let's see, like if I turned was that just the random seed I was affecting?
This already looks cool.
Whoops. This fountain of glass. There you go.
There
glass
we go.
fountain.
You'd probably want to put it on explode instead of, continuous, but you get the idea, chat.
You do get the idea.
And
so
viewers in
Chad.
general.
explode. Boom. Look at that.
Oh, hey, Hashi,
Jamie.
turn on bounce physics. Oh, hey, yeah, Jamie's here. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Jamie?
I'm glad that Jamie is watching because Jamie actually challenged me to do a thing that I will pull up now. Seth, you can
make it
take
bounce
over
first.
for a
Make it bounce
second.
first.
Take over for a second? Okay. Wait, bounce first or what?
Bounce first. And just go to physics. Physics. Go left.
Wait,
Fit left. One more.
Simulation.
Yeah.
Boom.
And
Okay,
then
so there's
take
no
enable
ground plane
floor.
right now. What should I do?
Yeah.
Can I click enable ground plane?
Yep.
Oop.
Oh,
Me
but your
try.
camera's funky. Your camera's funky in the scene.
Camera's
But-
Back up
Okay.
a little bit. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yes. Put up.
Bling,
Boom.
bling, bling.
There you go. Glass shards
Look
of
at all
bounce.
that.
This is great for if you want some of those John Wick effects where someone's like getting their head bashed against some glass and they want the glass piece to fall out, but you don't want your actors to actually get concussed and sliced.
I love my...
Exactly.
No, I don't at all. That's not true.
So it's perfect. I might as well apply these so I have this to run in the background. But yeah, it's so cool. Now I've
Control
got it right
S,
here on
save
my
your
comp.
project.
Look at that.
All right, while you save your project and move to the other thing, I'll walk through this real quick. Right after I cough my lungs out.
Done.
Too many birds for scale, but it's good enough for show. So I'll start just from scratch. Why don't I just go all the way down to the plate? So, well, that didn't do what I wanted to do. So
Well done. Some nice.
here's my plate. And I am going to, I've actually already camera tracked it with the 3D camera tracker, and it gave me this, and I'm just gonna make a solid, create solid in camera right here. So now I've got a solid right there in the middle, and this camera's moving up, and I'm gonna rescale. I'm gonna see if I can bypass that dumb drop. I don't have a bypass for the solid drop, so it's just gonna keep happening. Sorry, everyone. Pilots have been moved to an automated system, and sometimes I can't control them. So I'm going to rescale this this guy here. I'm not going to say it because it'll trigger the drop. Let's say that's going to be the size of our door. Real quick, I'm going to go over here to this panel, the 3D plane stamp tool, which is a killer script panel that Hashi made and I use all the time. With this solid selected, I'm going to go over here and click the 3D plane stamp button. And what it's going to do is it's going to project and map that frame and image onto that solid. And so now...
I'm so pleased. I didn't even think of that when we were talking about this effect.
Oh, yeah. And so there it is right there. So
Yes.
what's fun now, real quick, I'm going to set myself up for success. The original solid here, I'm going to name Matt, and I'm going to call it that from now on. And you know what? Just for the sake of it, I'm going to make sure, it's a black solid. So I'm going to, that's not one, a new one. Sorry. Layer solid
I do want to point out
settings.
that the links for the Mortal Kombat Ice Blade tutorial and the 3D plane stamp tool are in the chat.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Excellent.
So I'm going to now, I'm going to name this left door. I'm going to mask it right down the middle. Then I'm going to duplicate it, name the duplicate right door. And I'm going to go to mask. I'm going to switch that mask over to subtract. And now I'm
Love it.
going to create a null object. I'm going to apply a slider control. I'll go ahead
Look
and
at that, diving right into expressions.
name this one control. And make sure that slider
Just like
control is
Tom
visible.
York. Have control.
I'm going to go to the position, and just because I know I'm doing very basic animation here, I'm going to go ahead and right click on position and say separate dimensions. And I'm going to do it on both layers.
That sounds like a Doctor Strange power.
Yeah, it does, separate dimensions. And then I'm going to alt click, and I'm going to say on the X position, I'm going to say value plus, and then I'm going to pick whip it up to that slider right there. Then I'm going to select all, copy, and on the left door, I'm going to right click and paste it, but I'm going to change the plus to a minus. So now the value of the X position is going to be whatever the value that's currently entered there is, plus whatever this slider value is on the right door, and minus whatever the slider is on the left door. And now if I move that slider, you'll see they're moving. Now, something interesting happens is that matte kind of drops right in front. So one thing I'm going to do real quick, this is a little trick, a little cheat if you're working with 3D layers and it's like I could take this matte and I could push it back a little bit, but I don't want to push it back a little bit. You can just create an adjustment layer and put it between the layers you want to be always appear on top and above, and make sure it's below the layers you always want to be on top and above the layer you want to always be on the bottom.
I love it. I always think of it as a physical pane of glass.
Absolutely
like the Disney down shooter. Every time I think of it like that.
100%. So now if I mess with a slider, they open. Now, one thing.
Oh man, if you had done it vertically, then you could have this thing
talking.
Sing.
I absolutely could. Now, I also am going to select both of them, and I'm going to pick whip the track mats down to the matte layer, but I'm going to turn the matte layer back on because it automatically turns off. So now as the doors open,
oh, look at that.
They're sliding underneath and revealing
y'all
underneath.
Remember like 4 years ago when they introduced that feature, and like where you used to have multiple copies of your matte layer?
Yeah, you did. And Amazing. It had to be above it. Like it had to be above and below, and now you can just pick one. Anyway, that's the basics of this effect. Now I can go in and obviously I want to see the layer underneath there. I would want to do some shadows and stuff. Also the birds, by the way, the birds for scale or from Footage Crate. It's called Sparse Flock, and I drop them in here, and I'm actually just they come in as black birds. I'm going to invert them just to be these white birds. I'm going to scale them down, and I'm going to do a very subtle animation of their position from the middle over to the right over here. And now that vaguely resembles
scared
the
of that big
shot.
Door opening.
Oh, I didn't animate the door opening. That's right. You got to do that. So slider 0 and all the way up here to Yes. And let's select them both. Do a keyframe assistant, easy ease.
F9.
My favorite raptor. Wow. And there we go.
Look at that.
Alduri Magoob is asking, yes. Can we watch this live show later? While we are streaming to a bunch of different channels, the lives of this one will stay up on, not all of them, I don't think, but they'll definitely stay up on the VFX and Chill YouTube channel. So if you're wanting...
Maybe it's both.
So...
Maybe both happening at the same time.
You got to give it the whole time.
I knew he was going to say it again, but then I thought maybe he was. Anyway, the point is, if you want to be sure to see this replays of this show and a bunch of other shows where Hashi, who's done all the Action Movie Kid stuff, is talking about his things, come on over to youtube.com/@VFXandChill. It's also where the majority of the chat is happening on this show.
It is. You could come
here.
Yeah, Alduri, you could come join us right there. Speaking of which, I saw a
Lisa's
question
asking
from Lisa earlier too.
Yes, I just popped. Well, is this the question? Is this the question you're asking about expressions?
Yes. So I'm trying to think of which episodes do. We do love our After Effects expressions here.
Yeah, we love them a lot.
I feel like, how deep do we get into them during the show? A lot of the time, Seth and I will spend the week writing absurd, bizarre expressions. For example, that on the screen right now is Whirly Scripts, a whole panel of scripts that run behind the scenes in After Effects for Seth. We've written a few scripts that do things like that, and I feel like we've had a few very expression linking kind of episodes.
I know that
the Loki episode with the time spaghettification stuff.
Oh yeah.
Had some really neat expressions.
Oh, yes.
That link for that is in the chat. So after this episode's done,
oh wait, I still have that.
Go check out the Loki episode here. They added some really clever stuffed expressions to make the people all warp around and get stretched. It was a nice effect.
I wonder if I still.
And
have
also
that.
in Cinema 4D, we like using espresso nodes to link things together. I think our best episode for that is probably the Lose by Maxon Talking Raptor episode. I can't remember what the final title of it was, but it's one of our special edition videos, so you should check that out.
Special edition. There we go.
There it is. So if you're interested, I can show you what I'm up to over here.
The link for that is also in the chat, by the way.
Excellent. Look at that. We're such a resource. Hey, Phil.
Hang on, I'm trying to see if I still have. Oh, I don't have that. Hang on,
For new viewers to our show, this is our personification of the content-aware Phil in Photoshop and After Effects. This is.
Oh, okay. Now, I think I still have. I think it was called Smearmonger. I'm sorry, we were talking about it, and now I want to try it. Okay, so I believe I have to duplicate. Okay, calm down. To duplicate and do it on top of the top layer. Yes, and so now I can select the from point of the smear, the 2 point.
So gross.
And now it's like smearing between the two. Yeah, it still works.
I love it. Like it's such a.
And here's all the expressions.
Look at that.
On
Look at those expressions.
Yeah,
oh,
very
I enjoy
fun
them.
stuff. I really should make this like available to other people.
It's wild.
Anyway, all right. Where were we? Hashi,
we were. Yeah, I'm happy to show what I'm working on over here. So this is all thanks to Jamie, my child, who said, you know what you should do? Like the players on the game, are a little bit like pawns. And so I modeled this and textured it up earlier this morning for a very specific purpose.
I'm very curious how you modeled
like
this.
First of all,
cute.
sometimes, it's I'll give this away. People can have this.
That looks like who's the shiny like a limousine guy? What is that guy's name?
I don't know this person. So yeah, one of the fun things you could do is use our unified simulation engine with things like this, where you can assign the plane to be a collider and the player to be an object, and you can press play. There you go.
Oliver Tree. And he looks like
what
Oliver
I kind of
Tree.
liked about this design was it's designed so we could try doing a handful of things. Like if I wanted to, if this plane were larger, I could stick this player into a cloner, move the tag up to the cloner object like that, and then do stuff like, let's move the cloner up high just so we have something.
By the way, this is what he looks like to me.
Oh, yes, it does.
That's perfect. Whoopsie, they were through the floor. Here we go. So there you go. So they're pretty, bottom heavy, so they'll sort of stand up. But what I thought would be kind of fun about this is if you had, and I'm saying what I thought, but this is what Jamie suggested, is we have this unified simulation engine in here. Why don't we just take some of our unified simulations and be able to simulate Squid Game here within the program?
That's so good. I love it.
So this is pretty great. So we can use these, and if they fall over, we can consider they have lost. But also, they could be a little bit nudged and still maybe survive. So using these little pawns as a start, I remembered that Maxon Cinema 4D has an exciting new particle system.
Okay.
Which over here, I've designed a very, very complex 3D landscape consisting of this one plane and another wall over here. And then I have this character. I don't know if this doll has an official name other than Squid Game doll. I should find out who modeled that for me. It's from Sketchfab. Was it? I usually keep it in the layer name, but I forgot to. 1 second.
Young He. Young He is the motion sensing animatronic doll.
That's the one. So I believe this is. Where are you? Okay, this model is by here we go. There are actually a bunch, but this one is by IG Gazi VFX or Gazi GFX. So here we go. Lovely, very simple. As you can see on Sketchfab, Squid Game doll has a bunch of free versions. So I have the doll placed in here, but I also have a matrix object in here that I've used to emit particles, specifically this 21 by 21, I think, grid, which brings us close to the number of players there are. I think there are 456, and I thought they had to arrange perfectly into a grid, but now looking back at the show, the grid is actually like a series of diamonds next to each other, like a stealth bomber from the top or something.
As Jeff Bridges said in Tron.
Exactly.
456.
And I always think of Jeff Bridges' amazing interview moment where he says, oh man, once I got really sucked into a video game.
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
No one in the interview got it. It's so great. Anyway.
I always think of just the grid. I need to make a drop that's just him saying the grid in his like incredibly wet mouthed Jeff Bridges way.
456 is the original number of players.
What is it?
Oh yeah, 456.
456.
That's what JJ's number is. 456 because he's the last number.
So what's cool about this is since these are all being generated where particles are. That's using a new particle system. You can have a mesh emitter and have it source a matrix of 21 by 21 in this case. And you can do things like add a wind force, and if I press play, the wind will blow them forward with some turbulence, which is kind of cool. So I thought that was kind of fun. But then I thought something that could be really even cooler is there are conditions for particles. So, for example, I can write a condition right here, and they're all available here in the simulation panel. You can go to emitters and different types, and then conditions and different types. And they're very, like if-then style. So I can say on the condition that their velocity or speed is greater than a certain value, kill them. And I decided to hook that up to a little espresso tag. So a couple other things happen at the same time. So I'll show this very quickly, but what happens is this is an espresso slider that just has the value, is it red light or green light? Can they go or not? And that controls how fast the wind is blowing, turns the doll to face them, and lastly, changes the condition of how fast, basically, and the condition is if they are moving faster than a certain amount, they are eliminated. So I also have all of those things dragged onto the interface right here. And in Cinema 4D, you can grab any value here in your attributes and click and drag it into your user interface, which is great. And then on the little drop down, you can say or you can right click and say show always. So I now always have access to whether it's red or green light, and how fast they're going to run for it, and what the maximum allowed speed is. So without further ado, I wish I had, I should have music.
Is your cloner set to multi-instance mode, by the way?
My cloner
I can give you music. What kind of music you want?
It is on multi-instance.
Just making sure.
What kind of music you want?
Does it need to be, what do they use in the thing? The 2001, there we go. All right. Check it out. And the slider goes to red light. Boom. Whoever was moving at that point gets eliminated. Ooh.
That's so cool.
This is completely simulated, which is really fun. Oh, okay, let's see who's going to make it past her.
Oh, I love this.
Some of them are going to. Boom. Oh, you're so close.
Almost.
Dang. Ooh, the tension. Oh, there we go. Some are making it. Some are making it. Ching. You may have noticed that anyone who made it past her is able to just chill here. And that is because of these little squares you can see next to her feet. They are a linear field saying, hey, once you're past this, the condition to kill you does not exist anymore.
The condition to kill you.
Oh, come on, let's see. Oh, and... So, check it out.
Ah, crap, we ran out of scene time. But we
was pretty great.
I love that's cool.
Yeah,
so,
that's cool.
It's ridiculous. All, whatever driven, which is pretty fun. Yeah, I can find it. Try to frame up
more
a
cinematic
shot.
Framing. There you go.
Now, here was the thing that I didn't figure out just before the show. One of the cool things that you can obviously do with a particle system is emit from when a particle dies. And obviously, this could become a lot more exciting looking if... look at her, the doll's little hair clip. That's all the squid shapes.
Oh, yeah.
But, boom. I know that there's got to be a way.
Sorry, what's your question, Hashi? If there's a way to
on the condition of the particles, basically when I want the condition to be when these particles die, I want them to be reproduced. But right now, the condition I'm using is based on velocity. So when I'm using the reproduce thing, it makes particles that are emitting quickly and it kills them right away. Or
what's your
if
question?
I don't, they keep regenerating because they're all under a speed limit, and so they start incrementally going. And I really just want them to pulse one time when the particle dies, emit for just a second, and then go away, which I know is possible, but it wasn't working when I set it up the way I thought it would, because my condition is a velocity and not time or something like that.
No, you wouldn't want that, though. You would want your condition to be, you would just want to spawn on particle death. You'd have a separate group that would spawn on particle death of that group.
That.
So in which case it's
you're going to need to put your condition stuff under the particle group so it won't affect everything in this scene, by the way.
There we go.
So that says those conditions and all that stuff will
maybe
only
that
affect the
was
particles
all
that are in
I
that
did.
group.
So
Maybe.
if I have another emitter that is a reproduce emitter, and I point it to the first particle group, and it is, let's see, it's condition. It's on, a condition. Is this one of the conditions? Not age, but if it dies.
There's a way to do it. I did it.
Because you can do it based on its lifetime, but its lifetime is right now being affected dynamically by.
Hang on, let me pull up
Other
Cinema 40.
condition.
I swear I did this on an episode once.
All right. Anyway, Seth, feel free to let us know if you're doing something. I just know that.
Yeah, I'm in the process of. I've got this shot that I with this guy being chased by a cop down these walls, and I am putting a nice meadow picture on the walls.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not really the same effect as the show, but I'm about to do my roto now on the guys, and then I'll probably call it for now. Another thing I could put on here. Well, I'll figure it out. Not a lot to report really on that one. What else did we want to do from the Squid Germs?
Well, we wanted to do some, the blue screen replacement. We did some glass. We're working on this ridiculous simulation-based thing where to make it more like the game Lemmings, I kind of want it so when characters disappear, this little like pop of particles or something.
Particle pop.
One of the other versions of this that I had tested earlier was something like, let me see if I have it saved. So it wasn't that. Maybe it was this. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the very first test I did, which was just having an emitter shoot out these little spheres. So there's them all moving, and then this little machine gun starts randomly shooting at them, which is not very fair. So this was making me feel bad after a while. But it goes to show like how you can use the these are very small spheres, but I went to their object, or rather to their physics tag, and turned up the mass of them, which gives them a lot more of a punch, even though they are smaller objects, which is kind of cool. But back to this particle testing. I'm sure that with some more practice, I could figure out how to make sure that this was emitting particles whenever they disappeared. Anyway, what else were we going to try? I don't remember if there are any things that were asked. Let's see. Lisa was asking how long it took to figure out this specific use for nodes. I would say that over the last, what do you think, Seth, year and a half or something like that, we've been pretty dedicated to trying to learn more and more about Cinema 4D.
Yeah, I agree with that.
With the help of the entire Maxon training team. So, yeah, Darren Bagowitz, Noseman, Jonas Pills, Ellie Way, like everyone on the training team has taught us more. Who am I missing? Everyone.
Oh, Hashi.
How many?
You just instead of killing your particles, you just need to make them switch groups.
Oh, switching groups, not unlike the characters in the Squid Game. Okay, so yeah, instead of my kill condition, let's go over there. So instead of kill, let's get rid of that and go to simulate condition, modifier switch group. So that will be under this condition of their velocity. So it'll switch to group this, and this reproduce thing will be pointed at that particle group. It will kill the source. It'll emit a few particles with limited lifetime. Oops. No. I'm going to make them very short for a second. Let's see. Okay. Switch group. Wait, did it emit? Oops. What is the... Let me get rid of that condition. Okay, I feel like we're hot on the trail of this.
You made a reproduce emitter.
Oh wait, did I switch group to this? I didn't switch it to this group yet. Switch group to group particle group 1. Okay, and now restart. Switch to the next group. Boom. Oh, there they are. Okay. See here earlier when I was setting the particle count up higher, it was definitely exponentially emitting from everything.
Yeah, you have to kill the main particle and spawn the new ones at the same time.
Boom. Oh, look, they're getting... whoa. That was interesting. They're getting Thanos. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Okay, wait. Why does my cloner at some point think that's a different particle group? Let's call this the... let's call it...
And your reproduce should not be under the particle group, by the way. You should just be telling it to spawn into that group.
Oh, got it.
There you go.
Why does it do that? Okay, reproduce. What is it inheriting? It's probably inheriting something. Okay, not continuous. Kill source per particle. There we go. And draw mode, dots, draw radius, create group, lifetime. I feel like it somehow is inheriting something.
I think you've got too many particles showing up.
Okay, let me go back to the first frame here. Okay. Now what have I done? Okay.
Like it was working. It's just picking something up, and I can't see your screen well enough to see.
I know. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's definitely not loving whatever I just did.
So yeah, undo a couple of times.
Excellent. All right. Seth, what else do we have? We were going to do... I don't even remember.
That was most of what we were going to do. I mean, you did the freaking glass.
Wild. Yeah, I've definitely probably crashed this thing by unplugging something. I've done some kind of recursive particles from particles situation, and because I have the weird condition of the velocity triggering more or fewer things, I'm definitely screwing up something.
It's probably time to
go back to the start frame.
Million particles. Same time.
Let's see. All right. Close that. Close this. No, don't save that. Close. Oh, we did. Yeah. Close that. No,
I think I've managed to improve, by the way, my shot over here.
Ooh, all right. I would like to see that.
Here it is. It's going to take a second to fully... In fact, let me go back to you. I'll come back to it. I'm going to let it render.
All right. I'm just going to change my matrix size to 5x5 for a second. Press play. Okay. So yeah, I've done something that is... Let's see. My cloner here is pointed to just one particle group, I think. But the cloner is what's actually bringing those players into this world, as it were. So
the cloner is cloning onto the particle group, right?
Yeah, it's cloning onto just the first particle group. The clones, is it about an instance versus a multi or render instance? No. Okay, so if I turn off the quote blood group, oh, it's still happening.
Turn off the reproduce. Yeah.
All right, here. So I think I've improved the shot a little bit.
My God, you brought it full circle.
It's only 2:15. I feel like an hour ago it was 2:00.
This is amazing. And, we don't have to take up everybody's time in case we're at the end of our
rope.
I knew that there was some Squid Game related thing. Looking through, do we have any questions in the comments? Otherwise,
yeah, ask us stuff.
Yeah, if you've seen anything from the Squid Games series and you'd like us to talk about achieving that sort of visual effect, let us know, because we blew through this stuff faster than we planned to. So hop on up and into the chat and give us some suggestions of effects you'd like to see. Now, keep in mind, you cannot put links in YouTube chat unless you are a mod of the chat. So you can't link us to any references, but you can speak about them.
Lisa, I am loving your interaction with the show. It's lovely. I love everyone's interaction with the show, but
Lisa is a beam of positivity.
Keeping the conversation going is delightful. Thank you very much.
Nick Smith thought it was going to be Rick Astley under the field.
No, Muzzy's the new Astley.
See, now I'm a little bit curious if I could set up. Let me see. Let's add a, what are they called? A symmetry object here. I'm going to put this plane inside of that, and then let's see, it's going this direction. Okay. So let's adjust this plane to be like that long.
I love your little Squid Game guy, by the way, Hashi. He's so cute.
Kind of want him on my desk.
Thank you. I love him too.
He needs to be 3D printed and put on our desks.
He's like a little squished.
It's like a Funko Pops were cool.
Kind of like that's what.
Just kidding. Funko Pops are cool.
Yeah.
Like Funko Pop / does anyone remember? I think they're called Weeble Wobble toys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hashi, instead of having to carefully place it on the ground, you can use the place tool and it'll put it on the ground for you.
Wait, what? The place tool? So I can just be like, over here on this floor, over here on this floor.
It'll just go onto the floor, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Much nicer.
How could that exist? Okay, I'm going to eventually switch to actual...
Playmobil. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you so much.
Oh, Playmobil.
Some nice is on it.
All right, count. Let's see. 10. Whoops. 10 in Z. And let's rotate that way. 90 degrees.
So nice. Sorry, Lisa's so nice. She's always so nice in the chat.
I know. But now I think she's talking about these fancy clips that jump at us, but I think she joined us after, like, I don't think she was around for some of the older times when we had CC ball action. Like, she's missed those fun times and the
T-ball action.
We haven't used that one in a while.
No, we haven't.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, there's a bunch we haven't even really used at all. Like,
I mean, this whole season, no one's complained about the logo, not even once.
Well, I'm not prepared for them to.
Well, because you listened to the concerns and you've made a logo that is much calmer.
You know what we don't talk about ever are quilt maps. So much so that drop barely made it in.
We've never mentioned it.
Or
remarkable.
Or frizz, clump, or kink.
But that was from the hair episode, which was I would still say for how old the Cinema 4D's hair system is, it still does a dang good job.
No, wait a second. Hashi, there is a drop I expected to fall, but I guess you never set it to trigger it.
Ooh, what's that?
Well, don't you have like some surface stuff going on?
A big part of the way that this thing worked, actually. Let me delete a few things. Obviously, yeah, for this game to work, these characters had to go, but whenever she turns around, they have to stop. And at first, they weren't stopping based on my expression. And I realized that was because I didn't have a friction object in here.
Mr. Friction.
And we can live demonstrate. Like, look if, let's see, let's turn the matrix back up to 21.
Spider-Man turned the matrix back
That's what the ratings board said when they were...
Yep.
Done. And then we go to the friction settings. I turned the friction down. Watch this. Now, as soon as she turns around... Look, oh, they're all slipping and sliding and dying.
Oh, wow.
Oh, but their souls are...
Oh, and she's...
Goodness gracious, that's fun.
That's the soul vacuum over there on the bottom, on the floor.
Yeah, so let's see. If the friction were like 35, I kind of think of the friction as their skill level. So one other thing that I thought about was tying the friction to to a linear field that goes across this. So basically, their friction coefficient would go up the further they got this direction to simulate how much better they were getting at the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It does. And you could also make it, give particles random amounts of friction and have that seed change each time the game plays. There's a lot of ways you can add so much detail into these simulations.
They're so fun.
Now,
I'm going to put
there was something you wanted to do.
attractor.
Hashi, did you ever get around to asking Michael how to do the thing you wanted to do before the show?
I did.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
No, that's all right. It was not. It wasn't working.
Oh, well.
Or it's going to get me into freezing everything.
Freeze.
Right now, I'm seeing what happens if I put an attractor in the middle here. So basically, they're both.
Classic idiom.
Lisa, are you asking about the Mr. Friction musical clip? Because that's a... Gosh dang it.
So check that out.
That's not me singing, but it is someone you know.
So an attractor object, if you turn it to a negative value, watch this. If I press that, it's going to push them away from each other.
See, this is what I'm used to.
If they had a little bit more time here. Look. Oh, no. So that's very fun. Oh, let's see. Oh, this isn't centered, this whole thing. Let's see. Let's bring the cloner and the plane to the center-ish again. I know I could use the numbers, but I don't want to. I like the little bit of randomness in here. So this is kind of fun, and obviously they're both pulling away from each other like that. But what's really fun is I could do something like this. Let's switch to the top view, grab the pen tool, and say, doot. Draw a line straight across all of them like that. And then that's added this long spline here. I'm going to grab this spline object, raise it up like that. Let's grab and then on this spline, I can say simulation tags rope. And now if I just play, watch this. Okay.
Well, your spline doesn't have nearly enough
spline
subdivisions.
There we go. It's going to be uniformly or subdivided. No, uniform. I want it to be consistent. So I'm going to say, there we go. More points. Okay, now if I press play, look at this. It's a rope. And not only that, I could go to this rope here, and I believe if I say simulation tags connector right here, I'm going to make the search radius, it doesn't even need to be very big, like that big. And I'm going to say, I'll turn it up to 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and then say create. And it's a little bit hard to see from here, but look at this. See these little yellow dots right there? Let me turn up the search radius, and then I'll say create again, and then you'll see more clearly.
I'm enjoying
these little strings right here are dots that are connecting all of these guys to this rope because they have, a rigid body tag, and the physics system, like I said, is unified. So if we grab this attractor, I'm going to turn up its strength even more to this negative degree. That means it's trying to push each of them away. And instead of a fall off, like a constant fall off, maybe the constant fall off is helpful.
We'll see.
We'll see. The reason is because I want to be able to introduce some kind of wiggle situation in here. Because if I press play, here's what will happen. Oh, wait, it didn't. Oh, it's because I'm in.
Hang on, I would say, are they still in the symmetry object? Because they can't.
They are still in the symmetry object. So I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to say current state to object. Will that keep my... I guess that makes everything... Let's see, do they keep my tags? No. So...
I would say just duplicate it and...
Yeah, good point. All right. Dude. You two are... Okay, you're in object mode. Great. There we go. Duplicate of them. Let me get them out of that symmetry.
Spin around.
Come on. Okay. Planes down here on the ground. Take this cloner and say, nope, you're facing this direction.
Holding shift will snap your rotation tool to 10 degrees or 5 degree increments. I forget which.
Nice. Right now.
I'm leaving this Michael Pilot code up on the screen because I like it too much to take it off. He says this whole stream I've been daydreaming about a large ball rolling up these contestants and calling it calamari damacy.
Oh no. That dude wasn't connected to the rope. Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Spline. I think I just created that randomly. So
there is a new spline primitive in the asset browser, by the way. If you would rather have a primitive spline.
Look at that. Here we go. Let's grab this point and move it further back. And then let's see this one. This point is kind of at the back. There we go. Sorry. Okay, now everybody is
great connectors, great connectors.
And we'll go back to connect and we'll say create. There's also this update live option, which I don't know how wild that would go. But to make this rope more visible, I'm also going to now do something very simple, which is create a... actually, I don't even need to be a circle. I'm just going to create a little end side right there.
End side is a very good
radius,
choice to make.
Like,
yes.
That's probably too small. Let's make the radius 3 centimeters. And then I'm going to create a sweep object. And I'm going to put the end side as the first object in the sweep, and the second object will be the spline. And now there's geometry being generated for this rope, as it were. All right.
I always say if you're going to sweep something and you want like a ropey type of shape, rope, a pipe, whatever, don't use a circle spline in it. Use an end side, like Hashi has just done. And the reason is this gives you a lot easier way to control how many segments your pipe has around it. You know it's going to have a polygon for every side of your profile spline, and then a polygon multiplied by every segment of your rope, basically. So this way you can have as much or as little detail as you need. Because when we're far away, we don't need to have jillions of polygons to make this rope look round. Phong shading will take care of it with a low side count like Hashi's got here. It just makes things move nice and fast. And yes, Lisa, us troubleshooting things live is a big part of why we do this show. You can watch traditional tutorials and they show you how to get to a place. We show you how to figure out how to get to a place by watching us mess up.
Okay. They're not willing enough to... All right. You know what? I'm going to go to the rope settings, to the splines settings. And under uniform, I gave it a whole bunch of divisions. I'm actually just going to give it like 16. And that'll actually make this rope feel more taut. There's one other option I have after this. Whoops. Oh, I didn't reconnect it. Well, okay, let's see. Let me fix what I just did. Let me change this back to like 36. And I'm going to go to the rope settings here. And I'm going to say stretchiness is 0. Bendiness is like half. Target length is, I'm going to put it a little bit less than 100%. So it'll be more taut. And then I'll go to the connector object again and say create again. And let's press play and see what happens. Oh, here we go. Oh, some people are down already. Not doing enough. I need to put...
Is the rope being affected by the attractor, Hashi? The answer is yes.
You know what? Attractor. Let me go to its... Wait, not fields. Forces. Oh, wait. Oh, the rope tag. Forces exclude the attractor.
That will probably help.
Yes, here we go. And now let's give the don't know if we need to give more force to the
attractor. Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's do this. It's going to get wild. Strength.
Just add a 0.
Yeah, good point. Boop. I'm adding in the right place. Yeah.
Hey, make sure you save your project file, by the way.
Thank you.
Now that we've got it good.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, sorry.
Ah!
Oh, man. That's unfortunate. All right, let's see. Let's look at these guys, and let's look at the friction again. Mass collision friction. Let's turn up friction, and even though the failing of it is the fun part to watch, I should probably aims to be a little bit wider.
Oh, I see some hearts popping up in the chat window. Thank you for hearting. Don't while I'm mentioning your reactions, don't forget to like and subscribe on whatever channel you happen to be watching this on.
We do.
And then come over to the VFX and Chill YouTube channel and like and subscribe here as well. YouTube.com/@VFXandChill. The more subscribers and likes we get, the happier the bosses are that we can keep doing this show. And Lisa says, you can see how you can get lost in the hierarchies, creating all the simulations with effectors, cloners, and such. Yes, that's why it's very important to label your things.
It's very true.
Especially in like particle groups. Like if you get like 3 or 4 groups in, you got to name them. Instead of just saying particle group 2, you say this one's, this is the particles that are falling. This is the particles that are connected. It just makes, it wouldn't be able to do a whole sentence like that, a word or two. I do the same thing in Trap Code Particular. Now that you can have 16 separate things happening all at once, different systems all in the same particle space, sometimes interacting with each other with flocking and predator-prey and all this other stuff with trails coming off of some and not off of others. And you can have 16 different systems going. Really important to label those. I'll be talking about that in a tutorial I'm working on for making spray paint with Trap Code Particular, where I've got the core of the spray, the spatter, I've got the drips coming down, all that, and it's labeling it helps you keep straight. Watching these little weebles play tug of war is so much fun.
This is wild. Now, if I replace the attractor with something like a wind force, I could do some more ridiculous stuff. So if I change this to wind to be this direction, let's see. The wind needs to be much stronger.
Much stronger. Like add 2 zeros. Or at least 1 0. I can't see what number you have typed in there, but
10,000. Whoa!
There you go.
Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. Yo! Look at that.
16, yes, Jamie. 16 different systems in Trap Code Particular can all be spewing out together, spewing out from each other. You can have a particle system whose particles are whole emitters for other systems, whose particles are whole emitters for other systems, and you can have some of them flocking and chasing other particles, killing them, and making more particles spit out from them. Like you can get crazy in Particular now.
Okay, let's see. Here's what I need to do. The wind for, let's see, cloner 1, under its forces, I'm going to exclude this wind, and this is going to be so confusing. This one exclude the first wind, and then
make sure the rope. Did you get the rope to exclude the wind?
Oh, dang it!
Be sure to get the rope.
Don't get blown by the wind. Okay, and yes, okay. Here now we have a proper active force here. So if I went to this and gave one side a little bit of a boost,
turbulence. Give them both turbulence.
Yes.
So that way it'll be both stronger and weaker and stronger and weaker.
And let me look at the friction again. Collision. Oh, yeah. I'm giving them way too much. Okay. Oh!
That's so great.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. This is
so good.
Fun. Okay. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Okay. I want to see
Angel L. Angel L is watching from Brazil, everybody.
Welcome from Brazil.
Person. I think we've had a couple. Someone else
Brazil.
from Brazil was here today earlier. At least 2 folks from Brazil have watched today.
Okay, what if I distinctly make one team weaker?
It works.
That's crazy. Okay. Oh, you know what?
I think your rope's a bit too. I think your rope needs a bit more wiggly in it. But don't forget to remake the connectors.
Enough now. I was worried about it before, but now I'm not. Tag bendiness. Let's put 1 back up in it, and then we'll put the length back at 100%. Okay. This is wild.
See how stiff the rope is, and like it can't even bend where it needs to bend. You need to have about as many segments in it as you do people.
Yeah, let's go
really
back to the rope object. We'll go to not the spline. Uniform. Let's give it some more points there, and we'll say on our connector object, let's create these one more time. I'm going to give a few more points of attachment to them, and then we'll press play. Ooh!
Too stretchy, but there it goes. Now it's bendy like it should be. So a way to combat the stretchiness, there's a number of ways to do it, but one is just to make the target length be smaller.
Go back to 94. Oh my gosh. The wind is so strong. Oh, you know what we need is here, obviously they would have a little bit more runway because they need to be able to back up the full length of their group roughly. Right? And then on top of that, each of these things of wind, what they need is a linear field. Check out this linear field. I'm going to put one right here. So basically, if I go to the, let's see, which wind is that? Wind, I've got to label these. Wind left, and label this wind not left.
Hey, Ivasenko is watching from Ukraine.
Welcome. Oh my gosh, let us know where you're watching from. We love knowing how many
we do love hearing
corners of the globe.
We do.
Okay, let's see. Did I do that right? Linear field, so the wind falls off the further they get that way. Okay, and then I need another linear field over here, and I'll switch it to a negative X value, and then on this wind not left, I'll put that linear field in it, which is the linear field for not left. Wish there were a better term for that, but here we are. Oh. I'm sorry. It is insanely fun to be able to connect ropes and objects and physics and things. Okay, the linear field is maybe too long for both of these, so let's change the length.
We've got Kostya also watching from Ukraine.
Welcome.
Nice. A couple Ukrainians in the house. Got John Birmingham watching from Ireland as per usual.
Oh, you know what? I wonder what would happen if I went to these objects and increased their mass a little bit. The wind will affect them less, but they'll. Oh! Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Watching from Zimbabwe.
All right, that was too much mass, but let's try 2.5. Whoa! Okay, we're getting some good physics here. And also a really good demonstration of what the linear field is doing. So the wind has this linear field applied to it, meaning that it is at 100% on this side of the field. Between this square and this square, the value drops from 100% down to 0, where nothing is being affected by the wind. So it's simulating the fall off for the wind, but in a really controlled way, because I specifically want it to be like they have a lot of gusto when they're, getting pulled close to the edge, obviously. Nice. But I don't want them to keep like blowing straight off the end there. So let's go back to the ropes settings, and under its bendiness, I'm going to turn that back down to 1. And on the target length, I'm going to change the target length to like 85 try to make the rope more taut. Let's see what happens. Oh, still stretching out a lot. Oh, but they've all fallen down.
Yeah, I think that team's going to lose if the wind were still pulling.
So I can't remember. I did also, I think, go to the wind objects, and I had made them. Did I make them unbalanced? No, they're balanced.
They just have. Are the turbulence settings?
Oh no, they're not. They're not.
Frequency, turbulence settings makes one of those different. So one of them's pulling differently than the other. I want to say hello to Lava Works from Argentina, and
welcome.
And I'm so sorry if I'm about to pronounce the name. Kagan from Turkey. Kagan Sefe.
Welcome everybody. This is so fun.
We've got like one person watching from Seattle.
The whole stream too. I get carried away. That's my thing.
This is carrying all of us away, though.
Okay. Let's see. Are these linear field? It actually doesn't matter if they're fair. That's the whole point. Whoa! Oh no! Oh, now we're finally getting this action. This is the action I want, but in the center when one loses. Okay. So, what is our issue here? Maybe I'm going to reconsider how many segments are in the rope again. Because a number of segments give you better flexibility, but also more stretch. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, so much stretch. Okay. Target length, I'm going to turn you down. Yes. Okay. Maybe I just should have made the target length like 50% to begin with. Oh.
You can really see the wind turbulence having an effect on those.
Yoink. Oh, this is wild. Okay, let's see. Start this again. Oh. Too much. Okay, turbulence. Now, the whole thing about simulations is they're very much a patience game, and you do them over and over again until you start to get into the direction of what you like. So obviously, we're having, doing it live is always a little bit silly. But what I love about the unified physics system is that you can. This is ridiculous. Bit of a stalemate. Wait, except they're going to lose their balance back there. Okay, this is all ridiculous. What am I doing? What are we doing here?
What am I doing? Look, I mean, at least you're doing something relative to the theme. I'm working way too hard on a birds for scale drop.
Goodness gracious, where'd you get? It looked like stock footage of Andy Samberg somehow.
It definitely does.
When you first got to
the problem is, the lockdown just ruined it for the first, you can't read it at the beginning. So I'm gonna have to find something else. This is a bad clip to use.
Birds for
I
scale.
saw Andy Samberg in a serious role in a World War II movie. I was very surprised to see him in it.
Okay, when's that movie? How was that?
It was fine. It was palatable. I know it's a very interesting story. It's a story of a female journalist who ended up on the front lines in World War II, where she was definitely not supposed to be back then.
See, what if I told the rope it could,
as the Sinbad once said.
Yeah, that's the other fun thing you can do is I can say that the rope tear past a certain.
Boing!
Thanks. Oh, look at that. Chink.
How is there no good stock footage of a Newsboys like the people
like old timey Newsboys?
Yeah, Newsies. I'm about to pull a freaking clip from Newsies.
Classic.
No, surely not.
Surely it won't come to that.
It's a fine life. Carrying the banner.
Look at me. I'm the king of New York. That's the only one I remember.
I cannot get this. do every single thing that I want live in this exact moment. But,
I did find this authentic clip of a guy writing the news.
Ooh.
That must be archival footage.
Yes.
That's
Vintage writer. It's the whole it's a whole collection.
Yeah. He's drinking. He's writing the end. He's writing everything is okay.
Capitalism, it never goes wrong.
Yeah. This is a news kid, but he's so sad. He's like, I'm in the depression.
Oh, come on. You don't know you're in the depression.
Wait, putting a backpack on him. Is he going to school?
Oh, wait.
News school?
I think they just tagged it Newsies because of the outfit he's wearing.
Kid,
She's got a pretty modern hair there.
They're trying to outdo that like Walt Whitman poem or whatever. Or who is that? Who's the short one by?
The Walt Whitman poem. That's the full name. Oh no, footage of bad news.
Oh, bad news.
It's a picture of us.
I can't
wait,
believe
what?
there's no kid delivering papers.
Yeah.
There is if you type news delivery teenager, you get like a Grubhub bag being handed. Like just say news delivery and then go under the people section and put teenager in there, not as a keyword but as a search result. And take the word teenager off.
Bring me them teens.
Take the word teenager off of the description.
Okay.
That gets you the Uber.
If you're just joining us here on Artlist Live.
There you go. Grubhub delivery kid with a bag.
Oh.
Okay.
Paper, birds for scale.
Holding up a birds for sale bag.
This one right here. It just says, that's it. It's just going to say birds for scale.
It's going to say, yeah.
Yeah, Paperboy.
Dead dove, but it'll have a price tag too.
It's not on here.
Golly. I can go to Unsplash.
Well, in
try.
Case you're not all about the motion graphics, you now know a corner of the stock market that you could the stock market. Yes,
the stock market. Wow, incredible.
Corner. Ridiculous.
They have this, but they don't have a kid selling newspapers.
That's horrifying.
They have this guy. At least they have a guy in a Guy Fawkes mask burning the news.
Goodness, I don't know what's even happening.
Why don't we have any pictures of child labor? See this friggin' premium on iStock. They're slowly moving everything there. But that's what
but that's a still image. It's not a video.
I can make things happen. Cut to it's a still, and it's just like my mouth overlaid on it going, hey, birds for scale. Boyd's for scale. So much of it in paid stock.
Not what you're looking for, though.
Yeah. I guess I'll pay for something for our birds for scale drop.
Wait,
man, that's going to blow our entire VFX and chill budget for the year.
It has to say birds for scale because the whole joke is newspapers for sale.
Oh, that was the joke?
You don't know?
I was not following along that it was newspapers for sale.
Was anyone else following along that it was newspapers for sale?
5 more syllables than birds.
Right, but it's for sale. That's the main part of it.
Well, then put a for sale sign in a real estate
Michael,
agent.
can I ask, what did you think that I was doing? What did you think the joke was?
I had no idea.
You just are so sweet that you wouldn't go along with anything. It's like, wow, I know it's that way when I sing stuff because I have terrible pitch and it just comes off like just noise and there's no way to know what melody I'm doing until I say it out loud. But I had no idea it was that way with my actual jokes.
Well, that one, yeah. Because I wasn't thinking, I was thinking newspaper delivery boy bringing it to a house, chucking it at the house. I wasn't thinking like in the street going extra, read all about it.
Right.
Like how about like at a ball game, a hot dog vendor or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
hot dogs for sale. That's also one. Yeah. Oh,
Goodness.
Street vendor hawking their wares.
Bubbles for sale. Oh man,
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, I feel like
hot dog salesman. Okay, I love that hot dog salesman got me this.
No, look at his
Sold.
little face.
I mean, if you wanted to sell hot dogs, you know what? Actually, no, I disagree.
A lot of hot dogs here. Look at
Go to
that.
hotdogs.com. No, we can't do that live. It'll get us canceled.
Let's see. There's just nothing of a guy selling hot dogs.
Hotdogs.com is just a landing site. Nothing exciting there.
Michael didn't even look it up. He just knows.
There's jokes to be had that I
So
shall
there's
not
bookmarks.
have.
Well,
Too easy. Those jokes are too easy.
This is just, it's same as wicked.com. Well,
I'm going to say
Don't go to that one.
I think that this
Not a
was
website.
a very fun exercise in looking at a show and running through a surprising amount of material for a short little
Oh yeah, for
episode,
those who
but,
missed the beginning, we made glass explode. We did so much.
That was wild. Yeah, the glass exploding was way too came together way too fast. That was ridiculous. But yeah, we always appreciate you joining and everyone who joined in on the stream. It's very, very fun to get to react to comments, suggestions, and things like that because it makes our show go in wacky directions. And that's the whole point of this, is showing how much you can adapt to any situation with software. But anyway, do we have any other announcements that we need to make before letting people enjoy their lovely weekends?
we might need to
If
make
you
one
use
more.
the-
Just give me 1 second. Yeah.
If you use ZBrush Desktop, there was a little bug fix update that came out this week. I think it was this week, maybe last week, this week or last week. So make sure you update that to get your sculpt on.
Bug fix.
And of course, hop on and read through the new feature lists for all the new features that have come out recently in all your favorite tools.
Oh, you know what?
But no announcements other than that.
I do have one announcement. I think we have one video that they wanted me to play. We'll play that real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll say our goodbyes. Cool?
Perfect.
All right.
Bonjour, je suis le grand Muzzy.
Je suis la jeune fille.
Yes, that's French they're speaking. And no, these children aren't French. They're American. And they've acquired their amazing new language skills from Muzzy, the remarkable new video language program for children developed by the British Broadcasting Corporation. With this unique BBC language course, children learn a second language with incredible ease. 4 delightful videos quickly become their favorite TV show and teaches children the same way they learned English. Learning another language becomes fun. You'll be amazed when your children begin speaking and understanding their new language from the very first day through this unique method.
Muzzy now comes with 4 videos, 2 audios, a script book, parent's guide, a new exciting CD-ROM, plus this free bonus with your paid order, a special vocabulary video that adds hundreds of new words. We'll charge your credit card $28.17 a month for 6 months plus a one-time shipping cost.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, well, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week on VFX and Chill. And I can't remember a line from Squid Game to end on, so goodbye.